and welcome to another Turing Dev Talks. This is José, your host for the day, and I'm sitting from Montreal, Canada. And for our discussion today, I would like to welcome my name twin, José, which is joining us from Peru. Okay, José is a full stack engineer here at Turing and has more than 7 years of experience in the software industry. He started his career as a journalist. But later on, he transitioned to a software development, and today he's here to talk about his journey. And honestly, Jose, I'm very excited to speak with you about this because I have so many friends we follow exactly the same path. Okay, without further ado, let's now dive into our discussion of the day. Okay, and first of all, thanks a lot for joining us. And how are you doing? And how is the working treating you?
Hey, Jose. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for having me here and giving me this opportunity to talk about what I feel more passionate about, which is my work. Uh, my day so far have been great. Lots of coding, lots of coffee. So very tasteful, very fun.
Nice. Yeah, same here. A lot of coffee. A
Yeah.
lot of coffee. All right. So let's start from your time, okay, as a journalist. What pushed you to make this transition as a software engineer back in the day?
Well, what pushed me to make this transition back in the day from being a journalist to a software engineer was basically the passion that I feel for technology since I was a kid. I always fell in love with computers and wanted to work with computers. But also, I always love researching and learning things. That's why at first, I choose journalism. And I was working like that for a lot of years, but eventually the industry changed and I just fell out of love of journalism. I didn't feel like I belonged there anymore. And that's when I decided to just start a path and to explore what I really wanted to do, which is technology, and being a software developer was the first option that I take thanks to just building a website for some friends. I got this experience and it was like a life change decision, right? I just saw the other side and I said, I want to be part of that. So yeah, and I'm here now.
Wow, yeah, was quite intriguing, and I think many people that are watching this video do discover their love for things in their way. Okay, and I'm happy you found yours too, and also I'm finding mine as well. All right, so once you realize, okay, it's now I have to make the career as a software developer. So what were kind of challenges you faced while you're making this switch?
Well, the challenge that I faced when I was switching from journalism to software developer were basically this feeling that I didn't belong in this world, and it just a mixture of things. First of all, you felt like had a fear of breaking things, fear of not being enough, fear of being an outsider because you're not engineer, right? And this gap is very big because it's just it's a confidence thing. So that was the first thing I just needed to change my mindset. Also the technological I'm sorry, the concepts, the engineering concepts, because when you come from this world of journalism or any career does not know this type of concepts, it's hard for you to relearn all those things, right? And it takes time. For example, if you're working 9 to 5, you need to find a slot on your time, a couple of hours to learn, and it's heavy, it's tired. But the good thing also is it's also a challenge, so it's an opportunity for us just to see if we are up to the challenge, right? But also, I think that that's one of the big things everybody just came when they're trying to change from a work to another. They always get these like confidence issues, and I think it's completely normal. I think fear it's the thing that really can make you two things. It can make you feel like you cannot do anything, or you can make you feel like you can do everything at all, right? So it's just a matter of just pushing. And yeah, that was my path at least.
Great, and that was so inspiring, and I'm sure this will be very helpful for people from other professions, okay, who intend to switch to the field of software development and in this area in a dilemma, okay? Did you make any preparation for when you decide to switch, or did you just dive into the software development world and this is what I want to do?
Okay, well, the preparations that I did when I was like I decided to change from journalism to software developer were mainly in my mind. I mean, I needed to change the way that I was seeing and looking at problems, because, like I said, it was very hard. I mean, I needed to take like of hours from sleeping just to learn to study, and it was hard. I mean, nobody can. Everybody feel tired, right? Everybody feel there are days that you don't feel like enough. You don't feel like you have the energy to learn. So the first thing I need is change my mindset. I just think, okay, this is not a job. This is something that it's fun. So if you manage to do this, you will never have to like work again. It will be every day will be a challenge, a fun challenge, like a puzzle you will solve. So that's what the first thing I did. I started looking at every problem that I came up while I was studying software development as a challenge, like a puzzle. So every time I finish this challenge, I feel like, hey man, I did it. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's mine. It was my opportunity to prove that I can do it, right? So that was the first thing. I always try to compare this with the sport. For example, when you're playing some sport and you really like that sport, you don't feel the time pass you by, right? You're just playing and playing and playing. You want to get better, but it's also a matter of you feeling that you are getting better. So that's also a good thing to learn to how to get feedback. One of the things that I needed to change also is to start talking more instead of just exploring by myself. I start asking questions to more experienced developers in forums, and Stack Overflow was my like my Bible on those times, right? So I at first I didn't feel confident enough because I felt like, okay, this guy who does not come from engineer is going to come here, is going to ask questions to us. I mean, who is he, right? But and that's why I needed to change that. I needed to just, okay, stop being afraid. Just ask the question. What's the worst thing that can happen? They can tell you you're stupid. Okay, but I am stupid. If I am stupid today, I won't be stupid tomorrow. So that's something that I just needed to switch, right? And it was hard. I mean, it took me a lot of time, but when you just switch it, that's it. You never come back. So I think that's the main thing you need to do when you are preparing for this type of change. It's everything comes to the mind, not the technology you're learning. It comes to the mind.
Fantastic, man. So, and talk about the present. Okay. Could you please introduce yourself as a developer? Okay, and tell me what kind of language and framework have you been learning so far? Okay, and maybe can you share some interesting projects that you have been working on with our friends out there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I had to introduce myself again, my name is Jose. I am software engineer more than 7 years. I started my job my journey as a developer using WordPress. So my first sites were mainly WordPress. I was a PHP developer, and that's what my when I started. That was my journey, right? PHP, some front-end technologies, but eventually I fell in love with JavaScript. And right now I have been working mainly in React projects, Node.js projects, and I have been working as a full stack for a lot of years now. I was the one who, because I came from this background that is not engineer, I was mainly the guy who did everything, right? I was the guy, the backend. For me, it was not backend, front end. No, I was the guy who did everything. You just build the web, right? When you're a freelancer, also, and I come from that world, you need to learn everything. So I know Node.js, PHP, I know Java, I know mobile development. Also, I have the opportunity to build some React Native apps, and right now, I'm working mainly on React. And also, I'm starting my journey as a DevOps, learning about Google Cloud and AWS. So, yeah, I mean, it has been a really interesting ride. And regarding the projects, well, I have the opportunity to work in a lot of interesting projects. One of the projects that I'm working on right now is actually, I cannot share too many details because you understand that,
Yes.
yeah, it's private, but it's related to this new concept of technology that is called modules federation. That is a a new thing that is called in the front-end technologies, which will allows us to create, like, instead of building just one experience inside the web application, it allows us to create single experience, smaller experiences, and just like a canvas, you put what you build in the situation and the position you want, right? And it's awesome, it's fun because it's not something that just it's just a visual thing that you're working on, but it's also creating a path that the future engineers in this company will follow. So to know that, I mean, it's very fulfilling. It's very, and it's very also a big like responsibility, right? So it makes you feel like, okay, what I'm doing is important. And I just want to like reiterate what I just said before about the mind. Also, good advice is always to understand that what you're doing is important. I mean, it is. We are like, I mean, if we are in the new world, we as a developers are the ones who are building the blocks, right? Like in the old world, there were people who will build in those buildings. They create this civilization, right? They were the ones who put the bricks, but that's over. Now it's us. We are building the bricks on the digital world. So even if you're creating a single landing page and you are like taking 3 months to do this, but once you had it and you publish, it's important. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I just came up to my mind.
See, and that is what I'm talking about. So learn about what you did in your initial days and what you are doing now really does provide a perspective on how far you have come, right? And do yourself sometimes maybe wonder about that.
I do wonder about all this path. I mean, when I think of it, it sounds sometimes sounds unbelievable because at first I didn't think I would make. I got to be completely honest. I didn't think I would make it. At first, I was like I would keep on doing until the point that I can not do it enough. But I didn't like in my mind. I didn't have this goal because I didn't think it was possible, right? For a person that is not an engineer to be working on an engineer role. But for me, it was always like, okay, I have this roof and I know that I won't be able to pass it. But when I found the opportunity to do it, everything just changed. So it's awesome for me. I mean, it's like for me at least it's like a dream come true. But I also need to remember all the effort that it took, because that makes me help people more. Sometimes when you think, oh, I already did that, so yeah, it's easy. Just you will do it. It's easy. Yeah, you're forgetting that it was really hard. I mean, I remember there were times when I was like 2 months, 3 months trying to learn something, and then I realized a guy just did it in 3 hours, and just to realize that gap is frustrating. But now I am the guy who does it in 2 hours, and just to see that how I can become that, it's mind blowing, right? And I want more people to be able to do that because I like to share this feeling. It's a great feeling.
That was unbelievable. That was really great. Okay. So, all right. So move on. What are some of the new things that you are focusing on learning, okay, to improve yourself as an engineer? And what are some of the exciting things that you are happening in tech right now that are worth exploring?
In the present, what I'm focusing on to evolve as a software developer is in the next step is right now I think I already manage a lot of front-end technologies and back-end technologies. So the next step is go to DevOps, right? That's why I'm learning about Google Cloud. I'm learning about AWS, but as an engineer. I mean, my purpose is not to become a DevOps, but to be a full stack engineer that understands how cloud computing works. So I can build applications that are already set up to work on those environments, right? And also, I am trying to learn more about React. React, I think it's a very dynamic tool. It's a very awesome tool, but it's currently evolving, and it's making like there's a lot of debate in the community of React. So I'm trying to be actively participating in that debate. And also, I really like this concept that I mentioned, that is modules federation, that is Webpack modules federation. It's a new way of creating applications. So I really suggest everybody who's watching this video and want to learn more about it, so just check the documentation about it. And well, and also with JavaScript, you never cease to learn, right? It's a big word. It's an awesome word, Node.js. So every day I'm learning more. And I think that's what I'm focusing on right now. There's a lot of things that I would love to explore also, like 3JS, which is an animation library. And also, I mean, there's a lot, right? But you only have 24 hours in the day. So what can you do?
Awesome. And now, Jose, we've talked about your journey, your present, and the various challenges you face to go become a software developer. But I think our discussion would be incomplete without talking about how it feels now that you are one. Okay. Do you think you made the right choice, and is it fulfilling as you once thought it would be?
Yes, I mean, completely. Not only I think I made the right choice, I actually thought a lot of times that I should have taken this decision a lot earlier, right? Like I said, at first I was very afraid. I didn't think I was up to the challenge. That was I wasn't exploring anything else beside the small things that I've been working on as a freelancer, right? But now when I see that and I see where I am now, not only because of the opportunities that I have now working with Turing and as a software developer, but also one of the things that I'm really proud of is that I came from a country that right now is starting to be recognized as a place where a lot of good software developers live, right? And until a few years ago, everybody, oh, when they were thinking about technology, they always look at North America, they always look at Europe, right? Now you'll start seeing a lot of South American developers just coming up and doing their own thing, and they have just this unique mindset, this unique way of doing. People from Brazil, people from Colombia, and to be able to be part of that, to be able to be to help build this reputation for us, for all the people from South America, it's very fulfilling. I feel a lot of responsibility to just give 100% of myself, and think of this very often. I mean, when I don't feel like the motivation, and because we everybody needs motivation. I mean, that's something that we need every day. It's not true that you just like change the chip and said, hey, yeah, I have all the energy, I will do it. No, that's a lie. You need to repeat yourself, "Yeah, what I'm doing is important," but it's easier when you are seeing that, right? So I'm completely happy with this, and I just want to continue this path until I feel that a lot of people, more people, are here with us.
Fantastic. So I'm sure this would give our aspiring developer a good idea what it's to look at this field of software development from the outside, right? And it's really like that it's remove a lot of doubt for them. And here I would like to call on our developers fellow here. So if you have 3+ years of experience, okay, and are confident with the skill sets that you possess, you can head on turing.com/jobs and apply for the job that is more suitable for your tech stack. And once you pass in the vetting process, you'll see that Turing helps all developers across the globe to find and work with companies in the Silicon Valley. Okay, this is really amazing. So you can see by the face of Jose, but my face, okay, is really amazing, and it could change your life. Okay, don't forget to go to turing.com/job, create your profile, search for the job that is more suitable for your tech stack, and apply now. Okay. Also, if you are enjoying this content, so if you identify yourself with us, with Jose and with this Jose, so consider giving us the big fat thumbs up for this video and subscribe to our channel. Okay. Comment down below if you change your path. I have so many stories from developers that actually started as a doctor, okay, as a journalist. So they changed their path to the software development. If you is one of them, comment here in this video. I would like to hear that from you, okay? So, Jose, it has been a great discussion, okay, and I think it's bringing to our talk to a close, okay. But before I will let you go, okay, could you please share some resource that helped you in your journey on the way to become a full stack engineer?
Sure. Well, there are multiple resources that I used uh, in my path. the first one that I did for the interviews when I was just trying to get a job and also preparing for the Turing process was just to look at code challenges in Google, right? Right now there's a lot of websites that offers you code challenges, but mainly focus on the ones that are the basic ones. I think it's a weird concept, but just focus on the basic ones, because before you do anything regarding code, you need to understand those concepts of engineer. I mean, I made the mistake of starting in a wrong order, right? I start first just doing, but I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just copying things and just putting it there. Stop just 1 second and start like understanding what you're doing. That will change everything, I can assure you. The moment you understand why that is here, and you can explain that to a other person, that will be all. Also, I would suggest you to start working on your own projects. For example, if you are, I would suggest you to start with WordPress. If you are trying to create a website, or you're starting as a website developer or software developer, start just creating a simple site, WordPress site in your local computer. Just spend a few days just trying to set it up by yourself. Just break everything. Also try to learn a lot of just read the documentation, but also you can check some online courses. Always check the basics, but the best way to learn is do it yourself. You always just like put dirt in your hands, right?
Nice.
Yeah. And just one last thing that I think it will be useful for everybody is that when you are working with technologies like JavaScript or Node.js, that require some logic to it, always try to read the documentation also. I mean, there will people, there will come people that tells you, okay, do it like that, and it will work. Okay, but understand why it's working and why what your solution was not working. I mean, ask questions. And the best thing about this is that, I mean, it's funny, right? I mean, so just
Yes.
a small tip,
Yes.
but people from the software engineer world are kind of, have the ego, it's very big, right? And they always like to have answers. So the good thing about it is if you ask a question, everybody will just try to give an answer, because it's a that type of world. So
Yeah.
that feedback, it's constantly sharing. And you also share, try to participate in forums, try to participate in, if you, for example, if the Turing forum is also a good option, or any coding forum. And yeah, I think that would be all.
Nice, nice. That's really funny. So, I would say if you ask something for a developer, in 99% you have a chance to get a depend. Okay, your answer will be depend, because everything is possible,
Everything is
right?
possible. Yeah.
Everything is possible. Yeah, so that is so
I re-
funny
I
for
remember
us.
I remember when I was working as a freelancer, they always come to me with this and say, "Hey, Jose, can we do this?" And I didn't. There was a time when I just didn't answer to them. I just look at them and said, "What do you think?" And he said, "It depends." Oh, yeah, I won't say. Do you already know the answers? Come on. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, because that it is. I mean, in engineer world, they never ask us, "What do you think we should do?" They always ask you, "How are we going to do this?"
yes,
So,
yeah,
and always remember that when everybody, and that's just one last advice I would like to give everybody foreseeing. If
sure.
you start to work as a software developer, always remember that we are the ones who make the process. The solution always should come with with something that is already built. So they will sometimes come to you and say, you have to build this, and you won't agree with this. You won't, I don't know, perhaps it's something you don't think it's a good idea. Okay. But if you don't think that's a good idea, you should prove that by doing it. Do not just
Yes.
start discussions and just put yourself in a position where you are trying to take a decision. No. The good thing that we are is that we are builders. So build a solution that works, and that is a proposition that you will take, and that will brings a lot of people will start looking at you and say, "Hey, that that man or that woman, they don't know about. Perhaps they are not the best engineer, but he has a criteria. He knows
Yeah.
how can we achieve it." And those type of soft skills are very, very, very like they like it in all the software companies. I noticed that.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. Sometimes you have to make a proof of concepts to prove that
they're
that
wrong.
works, to prove that that doesn't work.
Exactly.
right?
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
nice. That was amazing, man. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your path. Okay. So this is it for today. Okay, that will be a hub for our end. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I mentioned to our developers, if you have any queries, please feel free to drop us a message, drop us an email at support@turing.com. Let us know in the comment section below. What you would like to see in the next videos? Okay, give us the big fat thumbs up for this video if you enjoy this content. Subscribe to our channel if you are not subscribed already. You can follow Turing on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and so many other social networks. Okay, till then, stay safe and click on the link in the description below to apply for the job that can change your life. Okay, as that said, that's a wrap. Thanks again, Jose, and I hope to
Thanks.
see you again.